Methods of preparation. Methods of preparation will start from alcohol. From alcohol, how can we prepare from alcohol? How can we prepare the alkyl halide? See, from the formula ROH, alcohol is ROH and alkyl halide is your RX. Alkyl halide is RX. So one thing you can understand that OH group is replaced by X. OH group is replaced, so it's a kind of substitution reaction. So in a very simple way we can say when alcohol react with hydrogen halide in presence of ZnCl2, anhydrous ZnCl2, this is anhydrous. Anhydrous ZnCl2 we get alkyl halide plus water. When alcohol react with hydrogen halide we get alkyl halide plus water. See the examples which are given here. ROH plus HX, ZnCl2, RX plus H2O. Similarly, NaBr plus H2SO4, this produces HBr. So ROH plus HBr, you can get RBr. When alcohol reacts with hydrogen bromide, we get alkyl bromide. Similarly, other halogenating agents, we can use PCl3, PCl5, SOCl2. Okay, suppose I'm taking a particular example. Suppose I take CH3, CH2OH. CH3, CH2OH plus this HI I am supposed to take, HI or HBr. HBr in presence of ZnCl2, I'll get CH3, CH2Br plus water, bromide I'll get. Similarly, suppose we'll take the and we can compare also the reactivity of different kind of alcohol as well as reactivity of hydrogen halide. HCl, HBr, HI. They differ in their reactivity. The reactivity order, suppose it is HBr, if we take HCl reactivity is less. It is less than HBr. HBr is less than HI, and that depends on the bond strength. HI bond is a weaker bond, so it can easily break and reactivity is more. Okay, so the order of reactivity you can write order of reactivity of different hydrogen halide HX. That is, we can write HCl less than HBr less than HI, and this is based on the bond strength. HX bond strength. The HX bond is weaker means the reactivity is more. Weaker the bond, greater the reactivity. And also the primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol, they differ in their reactivity with hydrogen halide, and based on the reactivity also you can differentiate the primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol from each other. I'll come to that also, how we can differentiate primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol from each other on the basis of reactivity. But before, similarly, we can also prepare the alkyl halide by using the phosphorus trihalide, phosphorus pentahalide. These are the reactions. Suppose we start with the alcohol ROH plus PCl3. It gives RCl plus H3PO3. This is phosphorus acid. So 3 ROH with PCl3 gives 3 RCl plus H3PO3. This is phosphorus acid. You can take PBr3 also in the same way. I am taking a particular example, CH3CH2OH plus PBr3. Let us say phosphorus tribromide. So this gives rise to CH3CH2Br plus H3PO3. This is 3 moles of alcohol, 3 moles of alkyl halide. In this way, you can get the corresponding alkyl halide. Even PI3 also you can take. Phosphorus and iodine directly can form PI3, and PI3 will also react with alcohol to give the alkyl iodine. And very important thing is SOCl2, thionyl chloride. Suppose I take CH3CH2OH, ethanol plus SOCl2. SOCl2 is thionyl chloride. Thionyl chloride will get CH3CH2Cl plus SO2 plus HCl. This is the sulfur dioxide and HCl are the byproduct here. Both are gaseous byproduct. When alcohol, the same ethanol I am taking CH3CH2OH plus PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride. I have taken PCl3, here PCl5. The products are CH3CH2Cl plus POCl3, phosphorus oxychloride plus HCl. Now you mark, basically for the preparation of the chloro derivative from alcohol to the alkyl chloride, we can take PCl3, we can take PCl5, we can take SOCl2, but out of them, SOCl2 is preferred as a halogenic agent. It's the best among them. Why it is so? Because in every reaction, you see, along with the main product, we have some side product, we have some the other product what we are getting. Suppose we get mixture of two liquid product, we can go for next distillation. Okay, but here what happened? The byproducts are gaseous byproduct, which can be easily separated out. Automatically they will be separated. No need of any special method of separation. That is why SOCl2 is preferred as a halogenic agent. This is one of the very important reasoning questions. Why thionyl chloride is used as a or preferred as a halogenic agent to convert alcohol to alkyl halide? Because the byproducts are escapable gases or gaseous byproducts which can be easily separated out. Understood? So this is from alcohol, and I have told you another very important thing. On the basis of reactivity, we will come to the reactivity of alcohol now. How the three types of alcohol, primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol, they differ in their reactivity. Then we will come to the use of Lucas reagent to distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. Primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol, they differ in their reactivity towards the Lucas reagent, or by using the Lucas test we can distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. So what is Lucas reagent? Lucas reagent, that is concentrated HCl and anhydrous ZnCl2. Concentrated HCl and anhydrous ZnCl2. That is Lucas reagent. And by using this Lucas reagent, we can distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. So what happens when alcohol react with HCl? They form the corresponding alkyl halide, particularly chloride, and they are insoluble. Alcohols, the lower member of alcohols are soluble in water, so you will get a clear solution. But once they form the alkyl chloride, alkyl halide, they appear in the form of turbidity, or the solution become turbid. The solution become cloudy. You may want to know what is that turbid. Turbid means the clear solution become cloudy. So the primary, secondary, tertiary alcohol, the order of reactivity with this Lucas reagent, the order of reactivity, you see, order of reactivity, tertiary most reactive, followed by secondary, followed by primary. This is the order of reactivity of primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. So what will happen? When you add the Lucas reagent to a tertiary alcohol, turbidity appears immediately. Turbidity appears immediately because tertiary alcohol is most reactive. See, suppose I take a tertiary alcohol like this. This is a tertiary butyl alcohol. Tertiary butyl alcohol with HCl and anhydrous ZnCl2. Anhydrous ZnCl2. So the product is tertiary butyl chloride. So OH is replaced by the Cl plus water, and this will appear in the form of turbidity. Turbidity appears immediately. Turbidity appears immediately because of this formation of tertiary alkyl halide. Alcohol is converted to alkyl halide. Similarly, if you take the secondary alcohol, turbidity appears within 5 to 10 minutes. Suppose you take isopropyl alcohol, turbidity, so for tertiary, turbidity appears immediately. For secondary alcohol, turbidity appears within 5 to 10 minutes. Within 5 to 10 minutes. And for primary alcohol, turbidity does not appear at room temperature because primary is very less reactive. For primary, the turbidity does not appear at room temperature. So this reaction is the preparation of alkyl halide, particularly chloride. At the same time, this reagent we can take to distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol from each other. So next we will go to the preparation from hydrocarbon. How we get the alkyl halide from various hydrocarbon, and starting from your alkane to alkyl halide. Starting from alkane when treated with halogen, particularly chlorine, bromine in presence of light, UV light, we get the monohalo as well as polyhalo derivative. We get a mixture of monohalo and polyhalo derivative, and that is called free radical substitution reaction. The reaction mechanism is free radical substitution, and also the mechanism we have read, the free radical substitution reaction for methane. How we get from methane, it is converted to chloromethane, dichloromethane, trichloromethane, tetrachloromethane, and the reaction takes place in chain mechanism. Steps also the mechanism, it was discussed in class 11, chain initiation, chain propagation, chain termination, it was there. But here only the thing, one example I'll give you, that suppose I'll take the methane. From methane the products all of you know. Suppose I take propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. This is propane. This propane when treated with chlorine, chlorine in presence of light. HNU means I can write as sunlight, diffuse sunlight, or the ultraviolet ray of sunlight is required for this reaction. Now, we can get a number of products, number of monohalo as well as polyhalo derivatives. See, monohalo derivative, this H can be replaced by Cl. CH3, CH2, CH2, Cl. This H or this H replaced by Cl, the same product. This H is replaced by Cl, the middle one, another product. So we can get 1 chloropropane as well as 2 chloropropane, two possibilities, and these are the two monohalo derivatives. I can write monohalo derivatives. Monohalo derivatives. These are the monohalo derivatives. Then coming to the possible dihalo derivative, and this is also very important question. What are the possible dihalo derivative of propane? Suppose propane is treated with halogen, particularly chlorine in presence of light. What are the possible halogen dihalo derivatives? First one, both the hydrogen atoms of any terminal carbon is replaced by halogen. So you can get 1,1 CH3 CH2 CHCl2. This is 1,1 dichloropropane. This is the first possibility. Second one is, let us say from this middle carbon, both the hydrogen atoms are replaced by chlorine. So we can get also 2,2 dichloro. I got 1,1 dichloro, then 2,2 dichloro. Then third possibility is 1,2 position, 1 chlorine CHCl, then another is CH2Cl. So 1,2 dichloropropane, 1,1, 2,2, 1,2, and the last possibility is 1,3 Cl, CH2, CH2, Cl, 1,3 dichloropropane. Now you mark one thing here, you see. This is 1,1 dichloropropane, this is 2,2, both are coming under geminal. These two are geminal dihalide. This is a vicinal. 1, 2 means two adjacent. Vicinal dihalide. And 1, 3 is neither geminal nor vicinal. So, dihalide, there are two special categories, but we cannot say the dihalides are of two types. It is not like that. Two types, two special categories. Maybe vicinal like this, geminal like this. These two are geminal. This is neither vicinal nor geminal. So these are the four possible dihalo derivatives. Dihalo derivatives of propane, and all these. So these are, you can say, dihalo derivatives. Dihalo derivatives. And the reaction takes place through the free radical substitution mechanism, and the reaction does not not ends over here. The reaction is continuing. The reaction continues. You can get trihalo, tetrahalo, number of polyhalo derivatives depending on the concentration of halogen we are using. But these are the possible products. So this is about free radical substitution reaction in alkane. Coming to electrophilic substitution reaction. In a hydrocarbon, aromatic hydrocarbon, the halogen is introduced in place of hydrogen, that is by electrophilic substitution reaction. Suppose I will discuss about benzene to chlorobenzene or bromobenzene, and for that also we are using a Lewis acid. That can be a metal like iron, it can be FeCl3, FeBr3. Lewis acid is used as a halogen carrier, or it is the it helps in the generation of electrophile. So in case of the aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction, aromatic electrophilic substitution, by this reaction also we can get the halogen derivative, that is aryl halide. If we take simply, I am starting from benzene. Benzene treated with chlorine in presence of FeCl3, we get chlorobenzene. Plus HCl. This is a free radical substitution reaction where the attacking electrophile is Cl plus. Similarly, benzene react with, let us say, if I take toluene, benzene derivative plus chlorine in presence of anhydrous FeCl3, anhydrous, actually we are taking anhydrous, here also we can write anhydrous, FeCl3. So Cl plus will attack, and this methyl group is ortho-para-directing group, because in the hyperconjugating structure we will get the negative charge at ortho and para position. So we will get a mixture of two products. Methyl group is ortho-para-directing, so orthochlorotoluene plus parachlorotoluene. We will get a mixture of two products. When we start with toluene and go for the free radical substitution reaction, toluene with chlorine in presence of FeCl3, we get a mixture of orthochloro plus parachloro, and this parachloro is the major product. Parachlorotoluene is obtained as the major product because of the steric hindrance, steric repulsion at the ortho position. So most of the maximum or majority of the product we are getting, that is parachlorotoluene. This is then we will go to the also the other methods of getting the aryl halide, that is by Sand-Mayer reaction. Sand-Mayer reaction, the preparation of aryl halide starting from benzene diazonium salt. Now benzene diazonium salt is a new compound for all of you, and we never keep benzene diazonium salt in the laboratory because it is highly reactive. Benzene diazonium salt is prepared from aniline. Aniline we keep in the laboratory, benzene ring NH2 group is attached, that is called aniline. So aniline, when treated with NaNO2 with a mineral acid like HX, NaNO2 HCl or HBr you can take, at a very low temperature we get benzene diazonium salt. If you take NaNO2 HCl, you get benzene diazonium chloride. And this particular reaction is called diazotization, converting the aniline to benzene diazonium salt, that is called diazotization. But Sand-Mayer reaction is mainly conversion of benzene diazonium salt to the aryl halide, that is particularly chlorobenzene or bromobenzene, by treatment with the corresponding Q plus halide, Cu2Cl2 or Cu2Br2. You can write CuCl or CuBr also. So the first step is not the Sand-Mayer reaction, it is just the diazotization process. So diazotization means that is the preparation of diazonium salt. So Sand-Mayer reaction, that is the preparation of aryl halide, chlorobenzene, bromobenzene starting from the benzene diazonium salt. But as I told you, benzene diazonium salt we never get in the laboratory. It is highly reactive. As soon as we prepare it also, it is readily hydrolyzed to phenol. When it comes in contact with water at very normal temperature also, it is hydrolyzed to phenol. That is why as and when it is required, we prepare it and then we go for its use. So first we should know how to prepare the benzene diazonium salt. This is aniline treated with NaNO2 and HCl. NaNO2, HCl I am taking particularly mineral acid, 0 to 5 degrees centigrade. We get benzene diazonium salt. Benzene diazonium salt, you can write N2 plus Cl minus. This is benzene diazonium chloride. Diazo group, there is a multiple bond between nitrogen, N triple bond N, N double bond N, that is diazo group. So benzene diazonium chloride. Now benzene diazonium chloride, when treated with Q plus chloride or Q plus bromide, you see N2 plus Cl minus. If it is treated with CuCl HCl, we get chlorobenzene. We get chlorobenzene plus N2, when byproduct is N2. When it is treated with CuBr HBr, we get bromobenzene. Plus N2. And this particular reaction is a Sand-Mayer reaction. Conversion of benzene diazonium salt to chlorobenzene or bromobenzene. by treatment when CuCl HCl we take, that is called chlorobenzene. We get chlorobenzene. With CuD or HBr we get bromobenzene. It is also a kind of substitution reaction, and what kind of substitution reaction, that also we will be discussing afterward. So this is Sandweier reaction, another method of preparation of the alkyl halide. From alkene, next we will go to the preparation of the alkyl halide starting from alkene. And this is a very simple thing, and you can see here, ethene plus bromine we get vicinal dibromide, 1,2-dibromoethane. So a dihalo alkane we can get starting from ethene plus bromine, CCl4, so 1,2-dibromoethane. And this is also the test for unsaturation. When we add the bromine water or bromine we add to the alkene, we get a vicinal dibromide and the reddish brown color of bromine disappears. So this is also a test for unsaturation. And another very important thing, alkene to alkyl halide, we can convert alkene to alkyl halide by addition of hydrogen halide. And I am now coming to a particular example. So from alkene, when we discuss the preparation of alkyl halide from alkene, if I take suppose CH3 single bond CH double bond CH2 plus XBr, let us say XBr. This is an unsymmetrical alkene. Now we will follow the rule. See here XBr is a polar compound, H plus Br minus. So which rule we have to apply? That is Markovnikov's rule. So negative part goes to the carbon containing less number of hydrogen atoms. So the products, that is the major product, but we will get both the products. So what are the possible products? CH3, CH2, CH2Br plus CH3, CH, Br, CH3. So two products, 1 bromo and 2 bromo. 1 bromo propane will get plus 2 bromo, and 2 bromo is the major product. This is according to the Markovnikov's rule. So propene plus HCl also you can take it. You take HCl, then you will get 2 chloropropane. And in this particular case, if simply we add or we take the peroxide, in presence of peroxide, what will happen? Suppose same propene I will take, or let us take another example, CH3, CH2, single bond CH, double bond CH. This is butanene plus HBr in presence of peroxide, that is C6H5CO whole to O2. This is benzoyl peroxide. Benzoyl peroxide, in presence of the peroxide, what will happen? Here also H and Br will be added across this carbon-carbon double bond. Two possibilities. So here you see the products are CH3, CH2, 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 Br. So 1 bromobutane plus another product is 2 bromo, CH3, CH2, CH, here Br, CH3, that is 2 bromo. But here in presence of the peroxide, this should be the major product. 1 bromo butane, that is negative part goes to the carbon containing more number of hydrogen. Anti-Markovnikov addition. So this is the major product. You know what is the mechanism? This is Markovnikov's addition, this is anti-Markovnikov's addition. This goes through the electrophilic addition mechanism, and this anti-Markovnikov addition through free radical addition mechanism, and this is the major product. If we will not use this peroxide, then this 2-bromobutane should be the major product. So this is the preparation of alkyl halide starting from alkene. See, in most of the common methods of preparation of the alkyl halide, we usually prepare the chlorides or bromides, alkyl chloride or alkyl bromide. And alkyl fluoride and alkyl iodide we can prepare starting from the chloride or bromide by halogen exchange process. And we have two methods here. So halogen exchange, first one is here Schwartz reaction. Schwartz reaction you can say, Schwartz reaction. And another is the Finkelstein's reaction. In Schwartz reaction, what happens? The alkyl chloride or bromide can be converted to the fluoride. When treated with metal fluorides like silver fluoride, the mercurous fluoride, antimony fluoride you can take, cobalt fluoride you can take. So when the alkyl halide, particularly chloride or bromide, treated with the metal fluoride, we get the corresponding alkyl chloride. See here, suppose we take Rx, alkyl halide Rx plus AgF, silver fluoride, we get Rf plus AgX. Here this X is here, either chlorine or bromine. In place of X, we can take either chlorine or bromine. If I take CH3, CH2, Br, let us say, plus AgF, silver chloride, will get CH3, CH2F, CH3, CH2F, plus AgBr. Similarly, you can take the cobalt chloride, you can take the antimony chloride. If I take suppose CH3Cl, methyl chloride, CH3Cl plus SbF3, antimony chloride, SbF3. The product will be CH3F plus SbCl3. You can just balance it by multiplying 3. So this is your SWOT reaction. In SWOT reaction, the alkyl chloride or bromide can be converted to the corresponding chloride by treatment with metal chloride like silver chloride, mercury chloride, and antimony chloride like this. Cobalt chloride also you can take. Next is your Finkelstein reaction. When the alkyl chloride or bromide is treated with sodium iodide, even also you can take potassium iodide. Alkyl chloride or bromide is treated with sodium iodide in presence of dry acetone. We get the corresponding alkyl iodide. Okay, the corresponding alkyl iodide is obtained. See this reaction, alkyl chloride or bromide. If I take Rx plus alkyl halide plus sodium iodide, NaI, in presence of dry acetone, the product is Ri plus NaX. And keep it in mind, this X is your chlorine or bromine. X is equal to either chlorine or bromine. So alkyl halide is converted to alkyl iodide plus sodium halide. Here X is chlorine or bromine. If I take CH3, CH2Cl, CH3, CH2Cl plus sodium iodide, dry acetone you can take also, dry acetone. Okay, it is CH3, CH2I plus NaCl, sodium chloride. Now chloride is converted to iodide here in presence of acetone. What is the role of acetone? That is also a very important question here. Simply we can understand that iodide is replacing the chloride, we are getting the corresponding iodide. Dry acetone is a liquid. Again, dry means it should be free of water. There should be no moisture, no water content should be there. Okay. Because the NaCl or NaBr, the byproduct what we are getting, they will precipitate out and can be easily separated out if you take the dry acetone. That we can mark here. That is also very important question. What is the role of dry acetone? By using the dry acetone, the sodium chloride or sodium bromide, the byproducts can be easily precipitated out. If any water will be there, then sodium chloride or sodium bromide will remain in the soluble form, isn't it? If acetone can easily dissolve water through hydrogen bonding. So if any water content will be there, then sodium chloride or sodium bromide, the byproduct obtained in this case, may be available or that will be in the soluble form. We cannot separate it. But if you take dry acetone, sodium chloride or sodium bromide will be precipitated out and we can easily get the desired product. The main product, the iodide, we can easily get. So this is all about your methods of preparation from different sources, how we can prepare the alkyl halide and aryl halide.